Hello and welcome to this video, Best Practices with Ansible. In this video, we're going to look through the official best practices as noted in the Ansible documentation, and we're going to see how this relates to some of the content that we've looked at throughout the course. Okay, so rather than actually listing some best practices here myself, which would most likely go out of date as Ansible evolves, I refer you to this page which officially lists the best practices and tips and tricks. And if we look through this and relate this back to some of the stuff that we've actually done in the course, you'll see that a lot of the best practices we've been following as we've gone through. Okay, so looking at these, using white space, we've made good use of that. Our playbooks have been quite neat. We've actually listed them out and we've broken up the tasks so they are nice and easy to read. Wherever possible, I personally like to name tasks, and you can actually see there that that is one of the recommendations. The use of comments in particular, personally, I'm a big advocate of this, and you can see that we actually have those comment blocks explaining what each of the different areas are. And I think these are particularly useful when you're working with Ansible in a team, and you may have actually members of your team who are new to Ansible coming along, and it makes it very self-explanatory for them. I leave it at your discretion whether you keep those comments or not, but personally, I'm a big fan of these. We saw in the AWS section the use of the AWS dynamic inventory, and a lot of cloud providers, they have dynamic inventories. The AWS one in particular is exceptional, and if you're actually creating dynamic inventories at any point, I do highly recommend that you look at these as a reference example. If you set your own dynamic inventory up based off that, you are essentially standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, some other ones that we've actually done there. The update in batches. When we went through the module, asynchronous, serial, and parallel, we saw that, and that is especially good if you're doing anything in production. Rather than actually doing it across your entire production state, do things in a serial fashion, and that way you've got a nice element of control. Handling OS and distro differences, we actually saw that, and we used the group by module ourselves, and we have made reference to facts quite a lot of time to actually distinguish between the distributions. So where we've been using the likes of CentOS or Ubuntu, or even Red Hat Enterprise Linux. There's some nice comments there on the use of adding comments to your variables and where they actually come from. I think that is a brilliant example that is worth including. And at the bottom of the page, you've got some nice references that you can refer to. Okay, that's it for this video and for the entire course. The next section is supplementary, and over time I will be adding content to this. So depending on when you actually look at this, this may not actually have any supplementary information, or it may do in the future. If you followed through the entire course and you've got to this part of the course where we're finishing, I would very much like to thank you for your time putting into this. I hope that you really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of my life creating this, so I've been working on this for over 6 months, and I really hope that it's given you the foundation that you were looking for in Ansible. I always welcome all feedback and contact, and if you haven't already, I would please ask that you reach out to me on LinkedIn and connect. Good luck, and a personal thanks from myself, James Spurrin.